We owe Uganda respect. We owe Yoweri Kaguta Museveni respect. We owe Jose Chameleone respect. Unapata point? Long live Jose Jamila analia Jose Chameleone. Umewake amemwacha Jose Chameleone.
Chameleon. He has this one. Have you heard this?
We love good, no satanity. Tribalism, partiality, I condemn them. Corrupt politicians, fire go burn them. Fake prophets in the church, I rebuke them. Who do you think you are? Fire burn them.
The proverb, a prophet is not accepted in his hometown, is a widely recognized saying that reflects the idea that people are often less appreciated or respected in their own communities than in places they are less familiar with. This idea is also expressed in the Bible with the passages like Luke chapter 4 verse 24 and Mark chapter 6 verse 4, stating that no prophet is accepted in his own country. That is the reality that Chameleon is currently facing in Uganda. Chameleon, to a larger extent actually in Uganda, is not really given the respect that you think that his his body of work should accord him. But also, he's not given the respect. And many times he has complained about this. Take for example, when he had gone to the United States to get treatment, Chameleon, I think, upon his return, he expected a lot of people to be in for him, especially from the entertainment circles. But not many of them actually came to welcome him home, and just celebrate him being alive again. And a lot of people had a lot to say because, for the longest time, Chameleon has been known to be extremely the kind of man that does whatever he feels like, basically violating other people. And it's been seen in broad daylight, and also it's been seen behind the closed doors, because people close to him have actually come to testify how bad of a person he is. You understand? And I think that has haunted his career and his personality at large, whereby the public has actually labeled his trail of violence and actually encompassed it together with his family, whereby they say today, if anything to do with violence happens, people will just be like, oh, that's the Mayanja family. They're always violent like that. So due to the picture that I think Chameleon put out there in these days of Bebe Cool, when we still had a big three, people began to perceive it as a character that is synonymous with the Mayanja family. Violence. And unfortunately, it has become to haunt Chameleon. But Chameleon, realizing that Ugandans have actually not given him the respect he deserves, he decided to find love somewhere else. And we all know of recent, since his return, he has really been out of Uganda. He has been in Kenya doing his music. He has been in Tanzania. He has been in Rwanda, where he's actually so loved. Actually, I noticed one thing, that while in Rwanda, Chameleon gave a holistic interview. I think a very long interview to a TV station. I think a thing that he last did a few years ago, he did it on Bukedo Muntu W'Abantu. But since then, I have not had any interview of that nature being handed down by Chameleon. That goes to show you that Chameleon is also choosing and picking who to associate with, and who to give interviews, and who to share thoughts with. Once in a while, recently came on TikTok Live and shared, had a chat with his fans, and that was just about it. I think Chameleon, at this point in time, is choosing to embrace people that are embracing him, to love people that are actually loving him. And this love is actually coming out of Uganda. In Kenya, for example, in Tanzania, for example, in Rwanda, for example. There's a video that went viral again last week where Chameleon was gifted a big gold chain by a certain lady. I think she's Congolese or something. Chameleon gets a lot of love out of Uganda. Let me play for you guys one video. There's a Kenyan, someone I would say a Kenyan entertainment version of JJ Chuli. It's called Kasipul. So Kasipul was on an interview. I don't know what the background of the story was actually, but he is seen hailing Chameleon, like appreciating him as the legend he should be. Something I have never seen in Uganda. Kasipul. I don't think Chameleon paid Kasipul. I have never seen anybody praise an artist like this. And I've never seen anyone praise Chameleon like this in Uganda, to be honest. Listen.
Jose Chemeloe anasema mazuri tunatenda, matunda yanaonekana, lakini wanashukuru tunapokwenda. Hatufanyie binadamu mazuri, binadamu wana shukrani. The living legend Jose Chemeloe. Jose Chemeloe. Uganda produce legends. Jose Chemeloe, long live Jose Chemeloe, kwa sababu game ya music ndio ienda across the world. Jose Chemeloe alifungua. Dorotia, Jose Chemeloe. Mama mia, pam pam pam.
You see, Kasipul is basically giving this guy his flowers while he's still alive. He is saying that for East African music to cut across to other parts of the world, it was Chameleon that did it. And he also says that Uganda has produced a music legend, Chameleon.
Jose Chemeloe. Jamila analia Jose Chemeloe. Mume wake amemwacha Jose Chemeloe. Wayuda hulina na wewe.
Chameleon.
Tuonge. Jose nani? Chameleon. Jose Chemeloe can perform 50 tracks kwa siku moja na bado wimbo zake zimebaki tena kwa stock. Hapa Kenya 50. Hapa Kenya msanii mmoja.
Have you seen what Kasipul is saying? Kasipul is saying that Chameleon can perform 50 songs and they're all hits in one day, and still there will be more tracks that are hits that he has not performed. You know?
Jose Chemeloe amefanya muziki more than 300 songs in hit song.
So he compares Chameleon with Kenyan artists who he says only do 3 songs and then they begin boasting around. Does Chameleon have 300 songs? Could be.
Now, we owe Uganda respect. We owe Yoweri Kaguta Museveni respect. We owe Jose Chemeloe respect. Long live Jose Chemeloe.
This guy has heaped praise on this guy. That means the way Kasipul is handing down his praise to Chameleon gets me to think whether or not I actually know Chameleon very well. But then this is what we need for our industry to grow. Like sometimes for people, for our creatives or anybody to get the motivation to keep pushing, we need to remind them of their greatness. We need to remind them of the good they have done, because even when there is the bad, they have done bad things, it's only right we acknowledge the fact that we are, at the end of the day, we are all human and bound to make mistakes. You know, of course, to some extent, Chameleon is the only artist in Uganda that will do something really bad and still be liked by the people. At least that is out there. We like a certain section of Ugandans actually like him, regardless of what he does. But I don't think he's given that much respect and love that he deserves, given his contribution to the music industry in Uganda. Because Chameleon actually, due to his contribution to the Ugandan music industry, there was a time it reported in Uganda, Congolese music was the reigning thing in Uganda, just like you see Nigerian music. But somehow Chameleon came and kicked Congolese music out of Uganda and changed the narrative right away. That was a monumental thing to do, you know. And I think he actually deserves his flowers. You know, he deserves his flowers. But also, speaking on the same, I think Chameleon, realizing that actually people are really not liking him the way he should be liked, he has focused more on creating quality music. And there's something that you should watch out for. There's this particular one. Woo! He has this one. Have you heard this?
We love good, no satanity. Tribalism, partiality, I condemn them. Corrupt politicians, fire go burn them. Fake prophets in the church, I rebuke them. Who do you think you are? Fire burn them.
Wait, this sounds like an old song that is done an acoustic version for.
We love goodness, alternative. Tribalism, partiality, I condemn them. Corrupt politicians, fire go burn them. Fake prophets in the church, I rebuke them. Who do you think you are? Fire burn them.
Man, that host voice. I can't wait for this one. And then he has one with Professor J. I think this is just coming soon. Okay, so this is one featuring Abubakar, I think he's a Tanzanian artist, and Professor J, and then Chameleon. Alright guys, man, that's it for me about Chameleon. But I think from Chameleon's story, I want us to take out a very important lesson, especially in how we live our lives and treat other people around us. Because sometimes there's always a saying that talent alone is not enough, but also character is a key thing when it comes to being a creative. It contributes a lot on how you relate with people, on how society perceives you, and how actually society treats you. It goes on to our character. Many times you can only try so hard, and then your bad character will betray you. Yes, I hope you've learned something from this. Until we see you guys again. Who do you think you are?